Alright, now we're going to look at making a torso, a low poly torso. I always use a box. I never use any of the other polygons or primitives because they all lack good structure. Best to just start hammering the topology out by hand. For this, I generally start with a cylinder, and I'll extrude the top and bottom, and then go right back to the move tool. Okay. Now I'll mesh smooth this, and I'll come up with this. Okay, let's move this into place. Jump in a wireframe, which is 4, and I can hit X to just snap this into position. Jump into my side view. Okay, and I think big, huge, broad things right now, so don't get focused on anatomy at all. This is me looking at edge loops. Again, I like to have a meridian point that has a few quads in the center of it. So before I even begin any more, I'll chop. And let me get back into perspective. It looks like my hotkey got screwed up there. So I'll chop that up. Grab an edge. Hold Shift. Control E to extrude it. Move that out. Dog Victor. Move that to the center. Edit Duplicate Special. Now, if this is moving so fast for you, keep in mind in the last lesson, or if you haven't seen it, the last series, I put in hotkeys in order to do all this. So if you think I'm jumping too fast here, just make sure you look at those hotkeys I put into position. Okay, join these, combine them. I'll use this menu a lot, so sometimes I'll just rip it off and put it over on my other monitor, or put it over here in the channel box area. Just have it float. I probably use that more than I do the actual channel box itself for character development. Okay, front of you, just grab all the vertices and then merge those. Again, you could check that out to see if it worked by just going into object mode and inserting an edge loop, and the edge loop should go all the way around. Okay, I'm going to need an edge loop in that area anyway. Okay, head. This is going to seem kind of goofy, so Shift D. I'm just going to duplicate this. I'm going to duplicate it one more time, and this head I'm just going to make a little space between it and the neck. Little space. This one I'm going to butt up against the chin, just like that. And I'm going to move this one up. Alright, so that just kind of gives me a little bit of a measurement for the character. Dog Victor. To center that up. X. And then move it down just a little bit. Okay. With these, I'm just going to align them with the face. Then just kind of scoot it out just a little bit. Again, I'm thinking big, broad things right now. Big, huge, broad things. Just like that. I'm going to delete these. They're kind of useless now. So you can think of this from the waistline, okay? There's still another run of head that you would go down below that, but think of this as the torso area only without the bottom belt area, okay? Gonna keep this pretty loose in the interpretation. And something like that usually suffices. Okay, jump to the side, grab these vertices right here, and then I'll average those. Keep average them. And sooner or later it'll get near about where the head needs to be. Scoot this back just a little bit. So I have something that looks like this. Okay. Now, this is where I tear some stuff up as far as, now there's a couple different variations of characters. One variation of character, like the head, is always kind of just its own entity. And, as a game progresses on or you have different characters within a game, the head changes out and the body has different costume sets. Those type of things that you have to kind of think about when you're making this stuff. Let's say I made a low poly mesh head and a low poly mesh body, and then I could actually augment either one of those at any one time and then bring them back together. For this class, I think I want to show blending of forms. So let's say I had this form and this form. How would I get those forms to kind of blend together and then have this overall sculptable mesh? Okay, in that case, we're going to look at this. Since this is very low poly, I can kind of move the head up just a little bit. And you count out your polygons. In this case, I'm pretty sure that I got the same amount, but a way to do this very quickly is go to your vertices and count them out. Okay. And it would be nice if the vertices were labeled 1 through 50 or whatever, but generally what you're going to have to do is grab this edge, and sometimes you can get it all the way around, but since this is not an edge loop, you're going to have to click it all the way around, holding shift. And then Control right click two vertices, and then you can look over here and see how many vertices you have, or you can count them out. So 4 in the front, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the front, 5 in the back, 4 on the sides. Okay. So altogether that's 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Alright, now if you count out your vertices here, you should have about the same. We'll find out. What I'm going to do here is delete this out. So I'll grab these faces, destroy them. I'll destroy the ones at the bottom here. Now you could get into wireframe. This is a little easier sometimes. And what I did there was I grabbed all of these and then I held Control, marquee selected, so it would do that. Now you could find that all the faces are highlighted at the very bottom, and I could just hit delete. Delete this last guy here. Now there's several different ways you could do this. One of the ways I like to do is by hand half the time, but you can bridge this. In fact, I need an edge loop in that area anyway, so I think I'll choose to bridge them. Now sometimes bridging works really well, sometimes it doesn't. So let's go in here and mesh combine those. And we'll go to bridge, square box. And what I want to do is put one division line between the two. That's what I was talking about, needing that edge loop anyway. And I'll hit bridge, and you can see bridge fails. Okay, so that's bridge. How you do it without bridge is you grab the vertice here and V, and you start just point snapping these into position where they need to go. And a lot of times you'll find that you might be missing one or not, and this is a great way to repair your topology. So hopefully I'm missing one just to kind of show you that how that works. Generally start out with the front, and then I'll work my way into the back. Okay, here we are right here, and this is the one we're missing. So I'm just going to undo a few times because I had moved the one side, that one, see? So in order to blend these two together, we're going to need an edge loop. And this is pretty common because of that ear area. See, by having backface culling on, how much it does help to grab vertices. Okay, so those work out quite well. Except for this area right here. Now, eventually I'm going to need an edge loop in this area anyway, so that works out. So Control R to insert an edge loop. Move that into position and move this into position. There we go. That's form blending while keeping good topology. Alright, in that area, I'm just going to grab my side view, grab all the vertices and merge them together. And then I'm also going to insert an edge here and just kind of average that a couple times. There we go. Alright, so that's an upper torso in a nutshell. Let's move on.